Hello and welcome to the Antiquarian Outlook for week 30 of 2026, starting July 20th. I'm Spencer W. Stuart, Collections Advisor. For more information on my advisory services, follow the links below. But on to last week's results. Monday, Gorringes had pop culture and sports memorabilia. There were 530 lots offered, of which 432 sold, making for an 81.5% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was lot 2204, a set of 4 racing caricatures done by Peter Ronald. Estimates were set at 200 to 400 pounds, realizing 3,600. A lot that exceeded expectation was 2121. 2 1960s psychedelic posters for the Seville Theatre. Estimates were set at 80 to 120 pounds, realizing 1,200. Still with Monday, Vermeaux & Associates had 500 autographs, photographs, and books. There were 500 lots offered, of which 133 sold, making for a 27% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was lot 21, a composition done by Émile Voldefel. Estimates were set at 800 to 1,000 euros, realizing 800. A lot that exceeded expectation was 374, a series of 34 original artistic photographs of Paris and the surrounding area from 1923 to 1930. Estimates were set at 60 to 80 euros, realizing 610. On to Tuesday, Regio Arts and Auctions had rare posters. There were 329 lots offered, of which 137 sold, making for a 42% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was lot 141, Cappiello's gouache on board poster for Champagne de Castellane, done in 1931. Estimates were set at 30,000 to 40,000 US dollars, realizing just above 33,000. Next sale, Aldred's had Americana Week. We'll just cover session 1. There were several this week. There were 260 lots offered, of which 241 sold, making for a 93% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was lot 8167, a print of the Great Blue Heron, done after Audubon in 1834. Estimates were set at 40,000 to 70,000 US dollars, realizing 130,000. On to Wednesday, Dominic Winter Books had printed books. There were 500 lots offered, of which 429 sold, making for an 86% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was lot 223, an English Bible from 1549. Estimates were set at 200 to 1,000 pounds, realizing 14,000. 238, a Douay Rheims Bible from 1582, with other Bibles from 1609 and 1610. Estimates were set at 7,000 to 10,000 pounds, realizing 14,000. A buy-in of note, lot 102, Miller's Camellia Physica, second edition from 1816. Estimates were set at 3,000 to 5,000 pounds. Next sale, Toomey & Company had prints and multiples. There were 155 lots offered, of which 138 sold, making for an 89% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was lot 156, a portfolio of 50 calotypes outlining the work of Gustav Klimt from 1918. Estimates were set at 10,000 to 15,000 US dollars, realizing just above 79,000. A buy-in of note, lot 208, this etching by Pablo Picasso from 1956. Estimates were set at 5,000 to 7,000 US dollars. A lot that exceeded expectation was 191, Richard Anaskowitz's Zonal from 1968, a screen print. Estimates were set at 600 to 800 US dollars, realizing just above 2,800. Next sale, Tooveys had antiquarian and collector's books. There were 196 lots offered, of which 176 sold, making for a 90% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was lot 3067, the first English edition of The Cloud Messenger from 1813. Estimates were set at 200 to 300 pounds, realizing 2,400. A lot that exceeded expectation was 3074, an archive connected to Hergé. Estimates were set at 500 to 800 pounds, realizing 1,700. Next sale, Doyle New York had Summer Impressions, fine prints, and works on paper. There were 135 lots offered, of which 107 sold, making for a 79% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was lot 5, a collection of 5 charcoal sketches by Aitkins. Estimates were set at 3,000 to 5,000 US dollars, realizing just above 16,500. A buy-in of note, lot 13, this pencil and red chalk sketch by Hello. Estimates were set at 3,000 to 5,000 US dollars. On to Thursday, Forum Auctions had online sale, books and works on paper. There were 445 lots offered, of which 407 sold, making for a 91% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was lot 5, Butler's The Feminine Monarch from 1634, in 3rd edition. Estimates were set at 1,500 to 2,000 pounds, realizing 5,500. A buy-in of note, lot 59, a uniform library of astrophysical journal, specifically the findings of Edwin Hubble. Estimates were set at 2,000 to 3,000 pounds. As well as lot 87, a series of Academy of Science volumes from 1839 through to 1844 connected to the discoveries around photography. Estimates again set at 2,000 to 3,000 pounds. A lot that exceeded expectation was 19, Levitt's The Ordering of Bees from 1634, first edition. Estimates were set at £400 to £600, realizing £3,800. Next sale, PBA Galleries had fine literature. There were 563 lots offered, of which 435 sold, making for a 77% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was lot 132, Hemingway's Death in the Afternoon from 1932. Estimates were set at $5,000 to $8,000, realizing $8,650. Buy-in of note, lot 232, the 20-volume Pentland edition of Robert Louis Stevenson's complete works. Estimates were set at $3,000 to $5,000. Two buy-ins of note, connected to Bukowski, lot 511, first appearance of Bukowski's writing in 1944. Estimates were set at $3,000 to $5,000. And 588, Bukowski's South of No North from 1973. Estimates set again at $3,000 to $5,000. A lot that exceeded expectation was Kahn's The Boys of Summer from 1972, signed by many individuals mentioned. Estimates are set at $600 to $900, realizing $2,000. Next sale, Potter & Potter Auctions had glimpses, vintage, fine, and vernacular photography. There were 380 lots offered, of which 262 sold, making for a 69% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was lot 129, Greer's photographs of Lee Bowery from 1991. Estimates were set at $3,000 to $5,000, realizing $3,840. A glass plate negative demonstrating the headless trick. Estimates were set at $3,000 to $6,000. A lot that exceeded expectation was 200. A group of 3 snapshot photographs of Jack Johnson, the boxer, from the early 20th century. Estimates were set at $300 to $600, realizing $2,400. On to Friday, Leland Little Auctions had prints and photographs auction. There were 103 lots offered, of which 101 sold, making for a 98% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was lot 2010, Wood's Sultry Night, a lithograph from 1939. Highest bidder was $16,500. And finishing off Friday, Dukes had the book auction. There were 211 lots offered, of which 155 sold, making for a 73% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was lot 1047, Green's Brighton Rock in first edition from 1938. Estimates were set at £30,000 to £40,000, realizing $36,000. A buy-in of note was lot 1075, a limited first edition of Kerouac's Visions of Cody. Estimates set at £1,500 to £2,500. A lot that exceeded expectation was 1035, Fleming's Casino Royale, first edition from 1953. Estimates were set at £500 to £1,000, realizing $8,000. In the news, registration remains open for the August sessions of Collecting Insights at the Expanding and Legacy levels. As always, registrants receive a complimentary copy of Contemporary Issues and Rare Books and Manuscript Collecting. If you have any questions about the course content or which webinars will work best for you, please get in touch with us directly. We look forward to hearing from you. Well, that's been the week from here. What'd you think of last week's results? Anything surprise you? Anything you had your eye on? Please make sure to put some comments below, and we'll keep the conversation going until next week. Remember, if you want to stay up to date, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on your notifications. Also, for a hyperlinked list of auctions we have an eye on for next week, please get in touch with us directly as well. The Antiquarian Outlook is totally independent. Its producers do not hold inventory, nor do they represent any consignments or acquisitions mentioned. Thanks again for tuning in. All for now, and we'll see you next week.